Oh, that is a great view of your gut. I think that's going to be our outro.
Oh, wonderful.
It's just like that's a man right there. What was it? Does it say Norseman or Horseman on your shirt?
Horseman.
Horseman. All right. That that's what you need to get around. I think with that kind of gut. I don't know.
Yeah, I was in with my doctor today. I was telling her, like, can we change some of my medications up? I've gained 50 pounds in 2 years.
Was your doctor like giving you prescriptions of cheeseburgers and milkshakes? Like, well, how does that work?
She was trying to give me diabetes.
Oh, okay. It's like, look, I understand. I don't understand why you're giving me all these pork ribs for prescriptions. I feel like I just need Adderall. Come on.
Wait, is this to lower my cholesterol? No, no, no. We're just trying to give you the highest possible cholesterol.
Welcome, absurdists, to the Football Absurdity YouTube channel. Joining me, as always, is Brandon Andreessen of the Fancy Boys Club. Brandon, thanks for joining us.
How's it going, Waleed?
It's going all right. And let's get into it here, because we were just talking, or going to talk about, we got a few things to cover, but the first one, game of the week, Seattle, San Francisco. That was a game.
Ooh, that made me feel alive inside watching that one right there. That was good football, start to finish. God, we never see that anymore. It feels like there's so many teams in the NFL not actively trying to win. And then, like, we get this on Monday, and we think it's going to be a good game. And so many times so far this year, we've been expecting great games. I think a few weeks ago, the Patriots-Ravens game, we were expecting a great game. The Ravens blew the doors off them. This one actually delivered as a great game.
It absolutely did.
Down to the very bitter end.
Like, I was wondering, because the first half of that game was just me wondering, like, if Seattle was going to show up. Outside of that Jadeveon Clowney touchdown, it looked like San Francisco, like, it was a close game at half, but it looked like San Francisco was dominating. And then Russell Wilson magic. It was fun to watch. There's a reason that they're talking about Russell Wilson as an MVP candidate. He was
been calling it here for 5 weeks now. Russell Wilson, MVP candidate.
Yeah, no, it's him. I don't know. Him, Lamar Jackson are my two guys that I like at the top there.
They're distancing themselves from Christian McCaffrey a little bit at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, McCaffrey's going to have – we said it earlier. McCaffrey's going to have to set some records if he's going to get that MVP. So, first, what are your thoughts on that, Sam? What did you – anything that you took out of that San Francisco Seattle game?
What I take from that is sometimes you can just see the difference between a good coach and a great coach. A great coach won that game on Monday night. A good coach lost that game. When there was a minute 50 left in overtime, well, actually, in fact, you want to back it up. Both times that San Fran had the ball in overtime, they did not look ready. They looked panicked. They were making bad throws. Ball should have been intercepted. They did not look like they were ready to.
And they looked like they tightened up a little bit.
Yeah, they tightened up. Like that was a team that looked like they got out coached at the end of the game, and Seattle went in there with a game plan. They lost Tyler Lockett, didn't matter. Josh Gordon comes in and makes two big plays for the team. But Seattle came
on the other side. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. On the other side of that, though, Deebo Samuel, that dude looks legit. That guy's a man.
He's got the same problem, though, as a lot of guys in that 49ers wide receiving core, and he's got a bad case of the hands.
Yeah, he had a couple of bad drops, but I mean, like, it happens. Some of those throws that were coming to him were not easy catches. But the big thing, too, is when he had that ball, he was just dragging guys. Like, I love watching a receiver drag a cornerback for like 5 extra yards. I will always be on your side. Him, DK Metcalf had a little bit of that. It was fun.
I think, as you mentioned earlier, man, this was Jadeveon Clowney's big game. Like, this was the first time that he was really a dominating presence for Seattle. He lived in the San Francisco backfield on Monday night. It was really fun to watch him just dominate line play, and then to watch San Fran consistently dial up third down pressures and Seattle having no answer for it the entire game.
No, it was Jadeveon Clowney's stat line here. He had 5 tackles, 5 quarterback hits, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and a touchdown. Here's another statistic about Jadeveon Clowney. He only cost a 2020 third-round pick, Barkevius Mingo and Jacob Martin. Houston Texans, what the hell were you thinking? That's insane to me.
2 trades this year they made that you just go, what? They gave everything they gave up for Laramie Tunsil, who has not been the solution to their offensive line problems.
No.
This one, yeah. I understand Texans going for it, but man, they really made some bad trades in the process.
They did. I mean, you should have got a first rounder for Jadeveon Clowney easily. He is. I mean, he's a top 5 defensive lineman in the NFL.
Absolutely, agreed. Got a question for you though.
Okay.
Whose division is this to win now? San Fran or Seattle?
See, here's the thing: as much as Seattle went, I felt most of that game I was watching it, and I kind of felt like, as much as Seattle won that game, I felt like San Francisco really let Seattle take that game. I think in their next matchup, I don't think San Francisco is going to roll over as much. I feel like San Francisco, I mean, they're neck and neck. And the difference probably in that division might end up being Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson is so much better than Jadeveon Clowney. But that 49ers defense was unbelievable. Like the only thing more unbelievable than that defense was Russell Wilson just magically escaping pressure. There were some moves he did. I assume it's because he's just so tiny that they can't tackle him. That's the only explanation.
I agree. And I honestly think right now I'm going to defer to the veteran coach, the team that's been there, the veteran team that's been there. San Fran, you could see in overtime, that was a team of players that have never had to play in a big game in a big moment like that before. 49ers, they cakewalked through a lot of early part of the season, and they just got buzzsawed by a less talented Seattle team, but a less talented but more veteran and better coached Seattle team.
Yeah, well, I'm going to pick San Francisco to take that division for the simple fact that if I don't, Jeff Crisco, one of the founding members of Football Absurdity, going to be real mad at me. So I'm going to go with that. I mean, I also believe it, but also I love you, Jeff. I'm not going to side against you on this one.
I'm indifferent.
Is it because of that screenshot I sent you?
Yeah, I got my time. That's all that matters.
Okay, I'm just messing around here. All right, let's. I don't know. I don't know what I want to talk to next. That's going to get me mad. I know whichever topic I go to is going to get me mad, so I'm going to let you pick.
We're going to go with this one right here. Let's talk about Mitch Trubisky. In the Chicago Tribune yesterday, they released a huge expose on what went into the Chicago Bears thinking when they drafted Mitch Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes and over Deshaun Watson. What came out of this was a very damning image of a general manager who fell in love with a quarterback and then built an echo chamber around himself so nobody around him would disagree with his own decisions, even though people within the organization did not agree with it. They were simply kept out of the decision-making process. That inevitably led to Mitch Trubisky, who won them over with his down-home good-naturedness, over Deshaun Watson, who was at the time the coach John Fox, and quarterback coach, still to this day, quarterback coach Dave Ragone, who wanted Deshaun Watson. And then if you look over onto, at the time, the Chiefs, current Bears coach Matt Nagy, along with Brad Shoulders, who was an assistant there. He's an associate head coach with the Bears now. Both of them fell in love with Patrick Mahomes, and they laid out the entire process of all 3 teams and going into how they wanted to draft their quarterbacks. What comes out of this is Matt Nagy built around himself a group of people that all agreed that Mitch Trubisky was the best quarterback. What's up?
I said Nagy. It's Ryan Pace.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ryan Pace built an echo chamber around himself of people that all agreed that Mitch Trubisky was the right choice to make at quarterback, in spite of lots of evidence saying otherwise. And the fact that one of the most damning pieces of evidence came out that the Bears didn't even hold a private workout for Deshaun Watson, 2-time Davey O'Brien Award winner for best college quarterback. He did not get a private interview. All they did was go to the public workout for him. It's really, really, it looks bad on the Bears organization. It made so even worse now by the fact that Trubisky is one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL, and Watson and Mahomes are two of the best starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
So I want to touch on a couple of things here. If you have not read the article in the Chicago Tribune, check out the Chicago Tribune. It was a Dan Wiederer. Is that who wrote it?
And Rich Campbell, yeah.
Dan Wiederer, Rich Campbell. Check it out. It's a great read. It's a breakdown in all three processes. They do a lot of work. It's really, really great. So, a few things that stand out. One of the things that they liked about Mitch Trubisky was the family aspect that he had. He was a good family person. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Deshaun Watson, mom had cancer. Like, raised her, like, he took care of his mom. That dude, his family, like, what he did from his family is unbelievable. Like, the actual character growth, the amount of, like, I don't even know how to, like, I'm so mad I can't even, like, get it out.
He battled through poverty. He battled through poverty, worked his ass off to get where he was, and
took care of a mother who had cancer.
And then the Bears had the audacity to say that he didn't have the stability to be a starting quarterback. Stability was one of the words that was used.
Yeah, and they figured this out without having actually talked to him.
Nope.
Everything I've heard about Deshaun Watson, this was going, and anyone who talked to him during the process talked about how, like, that dude commands a room. People, like, you can tell when everyone, like, in the draft process, you can tell everyone likes everyone. They'll always say it, but it's very rare when you find people who love a man, like when everyone universally loves a person when they talk to him. Deshaun Watson was that guy. On top of that, look, I understand that you can't just go by wins at the college level. You need some kind of athletic ability, but, like, he had the athletic ability. He beat Alabama, which nobody on the college level beats. No one beats a Nick Saban team. And you're going to tell me this guy, like, there was a Jonathan Allen quote where he was talking about their goal in the national championship game that Deshaun Watson won was to hit him so much that he would just quit. And all hitting him did was seem to make him more focused, more into it. Like, they realized no matter how much they hit him, they could not take him down. That's the man I want as my quarterback, because I have yet to see that from Trubisky. But
no, what we have in Mitch Trubisky is a weak amount of confidence. He's they brought in a guy who's going to be an easy person to get along with, but he's not a competitor. He doesn't have that extra level of edge.
He's got to turn off the TVs.
Killer instinct if you're going to be a quarterback in the NFL. He doesn't have it. He's a very thin-skinned person. Going back to what we talked about last week, where he wanted the televisions turned off in Hallis Hall. This is not Mitch Trubisky is not a leader, and the biggest thing to take away from this is Ryan Pace shouldn't have a job. If Mitch Trubisky continues to scuffle and they can't offer a contract extension to him, look at that 2017 draft. Mitch Trubisky in the first round, Adam Shaheen in the second round. Adam Shaheen was a healthy scratch last week.
See,
that means he botches early round draft picks. Yeah, you should give him credit for finding people late in the rounds, but that's also the scouting department's job.
See, here's my thing. As much as I want to, like, get on Pace. Pace has had very good drafts since he's got here. Like, he has rebuilt a destitute roster. His biggest screw up, apparently, though, is going to be the quarterback. The thing that really gets me is his process compared to the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, they outlined it beautifully, where the Chiefs brought in all three guys and they put them through the same process where they went through all the breakdowns of the plays. Then they did some other stuff, and then they had him come back, see what they could recall, have him go through everything. They went through to make sure that the guys could play quarterback. Ryan Pace was so concerned about hiding the fact that they might look for a quarterback, when, to be fair, everyone knew the Bears were eventually going to go for a quarterback, that he was trying to hide that, like, look, don't be too cute. Don't be too clever. Bring all the quarterbacks in, evaluate them properly, see who's good at their job. Don't worry about who's good at talking at dinner. Who the fuck cares how good you are in conversation, how likable? Oh, you like Mitchell Trubisky's car? Who cares? That's like an anecdote that has nothing to do with how he plays a quarterback. The process was so flawed in evaluation that it's hard to trust him to evaluate another quarterback. But I'm a believer that a man can learn from his mistakes. Hopefully he can. Hopefully you understand, because he has, like, look, Eddie Goldman, Roquan Smith has been down, but I like the pick. Oh God, all the guys that he brought in. I mean, the Khalil Mack trade alone should buy him some time. He's
but let's look at his first round. Let's look at his first round draft picks. 2000. Who was it? Who was his first round draft pick?
Kevin White. But to be fair, that was an injury thing. I find
he wasn't good to begin with. He came into the NFL with them saying that he didn't know how to run a route tree, and he never learned how to run a route tree.
He was a consensus top 6 pick across the draft board.
He was not a consensus.
Yes, he was. Look at all of the. I study draft. He was a guy everyone was saying was going to be top. Like he was going to be in the top 10 no matter what. So the fact that the Bears took him means that they screwed up like everyone else would have. He got hurt. We don't know how he would have developed. I'm sorry. That's all I got to say on that. What was the second round pick that year? Eddie Goldman, right?
Yeah, Eddie Goldman's been a fine rotational player. The player, who was drafted after that.
He's one of the best tackles in football. I'm sorry, like for a 3-4 defense, that guy like anchors. Those guys are hard to find. He is very good at his job.
Third round draft pick, Coronas Grasu. Fourth round draft pick, Jeremy Langford. Fifth round draft pick, Adrian Amos. Sixth round draft pick, Teo Faluge. So there's one guy from the 2015 draft still on that roster.
Yeah, but I will say this. That was his first draft, and that first draft is before he has a chance to turn over a scouting department. The first year a general manager comes into the league, they're generally stuck with the structure that was in place. So it's hard to fully get against him on that one. Let's see. What was the next year?
2016? Yeah. That was Leonard Floyd, can't stay healthy, only ever shows flashes, not really – anything. Cody Whitehair, who's been good but has regressed horribly this year.
No, he hasn't. He's been the best. He's been the only thing in that offensive line that's been worth a damn.
Cody Whitehair has been playing out of position. They just switched his position.
This is a lot of these problems. Look, Cody Whitehair is here's the fact. He's an above average football player. Is all I'm going to say. Honestly, Leonard Floyd is. I don't know if he's. I'd say he's probably above average.
Tyler Murray is the top player.
Oh, what the hell?
No, also, I'm doing a couple quick checks here. In 2015, Amari Cooper was the consensus top wide receiver
yes, he was.
in the NFL draft. Amari Cooper went 19th.
No, he didn't.
Kevin White went like 7th.
Amari Cooper was the 4th pick overall. He went to the Oakland Raiders. He did not go 19th.
I'm gonna trust you on this one.
Yeah, no. Amari Cooper was the first. He went to the Oakland Raiders at 3 or 4. I remember.
Oh, you're right. I'm thinking of his jersey number because I'm an idiot.
Yeah. 19th. Did we pick up that sound when I was trying to look up the draft? God damn it.
Either way, though, you look at a guy like this. All right, if you want to look beyond the draft, let's look at free agency. What did he do in free agency this year? He traded Jordan Howard for nothing, then brought in Mike Davis. Mike Davis got cut so they could avoid having to give up a compensatory pick for him. Buster Skrine has been borderline disastrous in the secondary, and no one who has he brought in free agency this year that did anything to help this roster even a little bit.
But the problem is with the caveat this year, you're ignoring the guys that he brought in other years, such as Danny Trevathan, Prince Amukamara. I was trying to think of I would say HaHa Clinton Dix, but he's just been okay, honestly. He's been fine. I don't know that he's been the problem with this defense.
No, because you know what the problem's been? The problem has been Mitch fucking Trubisky. Yep. He is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL right now. Marcus Mariota lost his job for being Trubisky level bad. Other quarterbacks don't get to get away with this as learning years, but he's being coddled and he's being babied. That's why the Bears will not be, and let's jump into our next topic. That's why the Bears will not have any representatives at Colin Kaepernick's pro day on Saturday.
Okay, that's a good transition. If we want to stay mad, I'm ready to stay mad. What are your thoughts on the entire Kaepernick?
It's a joke. It's a charade. They're trying to do this to avoid getting sued again. The level of back and forth, the level of just absolute not making sense is mind-boggling in this. What do you think?
So I got so many notes on this. Let's see. The NFL told Kaepernick at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, ahead of a 4 p.m. personal notice that it was going to be sent out to teams. They told him he had a couple of hours to respond. They gave 3 days. The teams have no idea what's going on. You know what? I'm going to let Eric Reed say it because he says it perfectly. When he quoted Malcolm X, saying that he was saying it's disingenuous. They want to give the appearance of giving Colin a chance, but they give him 2 hours notice and tell him it has to be on a Saturday when they know decision makers are traveling. So is this real? We'll see. But what was it? That's the wrong quote. What was the other quote here? The Malcolm X quote. If you stick a knife 9 inches in my back and pull it out 6, that's not progress. There's still a knife in my back.
Pretty much. And what to go off on what you were saying, NFL teams aren't looking to bring in players on a Saturday. Normally, when they do scouting, when they do things like this, it's on a Tuesday. That is the normal day because normally teams that are playing on Sunday, they don't practice on Tuesday. They're in for tape. They're in for walkthroughs. They're not going in to do heavy practicing on a Tuesday. So that is when a lot of the scouting department is out working out players. Or in a situation like this, having him out on Tuesday when every roster could have somebody out there. In fact, I'm going to go so far just before we start doing this. Adam Schefter tweeted that several teams had actually reached out to Colin Kaepernick's representation to let Colin people know that, hey, no offense, but we're not going to be there, and we're not sure why this is being held on this day.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
On Saturday, half of the NFL teams are traveling, and general managers, coaches, all most of the important personnel on an NFL team is traveling with the team. So why would you do it on a Saturday? And Colin Kaepernick asked for it to be on a Tuesday, but the NFL said the workout had to be on a Saturday. And when he asked if they could put it the next Saturday instead of having it 3 days, they said, nope, it's got to be this Saturday. And when he asked if teams were aware of it, none of the teams knew that this was even going to happen until it happened. So there was literally no. They have 3 days to make it happen. It's insane.
It's pretty pathetic is what it is. And you know what? I'm sick and tired. If you tell me that Colin Kaepernick isn't good enough for an NFL to be in the NFL, that leads me to believe you have an agenda and that you have some personal hatred towards him for various reasons, because it's you or you just don't know shit about football. Because the fact of the matter is, I was forced to watch Brian goddamn Hoyer play NFL quarterback on Sunday, and the Colts, a playoff team, a team that I picked to win the division, lost to a lowly-ass Miami Dolphins team because of incompetent quarterback play by a backup quarterback who shouldn't be in the NFL right now above Colin Kaepernick.
I mean, it's Brock Osweiler, while Colin Kaepernick wasn't working, had a job. I feel like that's all that needs to be said.
Josh Johnson, who hadn't thrown a football in the NFL in 5 years, played for the Washington Redskins last year.
Mike Lennon. Who's the other Oakland backup that was on Hard Knocks? Damn it. Buffalo guy. Nathan Peterman. These are guys that, and here's the thing. Kaepernick representation has stated he's never said any contract demands. He's never said he wouldn't be a backup. So if those two things are true, it makes no sense. Oh, what was the Pete Carroll thing, too? He's like, well, we don't need Kaepernick as a backup because he's a starter in the NFL. Why the fuck wouldn't you want 2 starters on your team? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, as a Bears fan, I'd sure shit feel better about Colin Kaepernick being the backup quarterback than I do about he's not even worth learning his shitty-ass name because he can't win a football game.
All right.
Chase Daniel.
Yeah, Chase Daniel. I mean, but Chase Daniel was brought in to just basically be a coach. That's a situation that's a little bit different. But if you're going to say that, why wouldn't you have Bray, the third-string guy? And I'd rather have Kaepernick. But regardless, all I know is just so you know how bad Trubisky's doing is Bears fans were like, why aren't we looking at Kaepernick? I mean, I've had this conversation a bunch of times over the last 4 weeks, and rightfully so, because if I had to pick between the two, I'll take Kaepernick in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. For example, can you name the backup quarterback for Tampa Bay? Team that's going nowhere. They're probably not going to keep Jameis Winston next year. Who's their backup?
I used to know this answer too. When you say it, I'll remember, but I can't off the top of my head.
It is the immortal Ryan Griffin.
Yeah, Ryan Griffin. He was on Hard Knocks a couple of years ago. That's why I kind of knew that. But also, I knew it in a moment. I forgot because he's forgettable.
He's completely worthless. He's been in the NFL for 6 years, and nobody knows who the hell he is. Nobody should know who the hell he is.
God, who was starting for the Jets this year?
When the Jets? Oh, David Fales.
David Fales. Okay, yeah.
And
David
Josh
Fales.
McCown.
Yeah. Well, I got a soft spot for McCown, but even still, David Fales over Kaepernick. Really, 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 Jets. Come on.
Well, that was Adam Gase, and Adam Gase is the coaching version of the Hindenburg. So he's, which on a side note, congratulations to the Jets and their front office for having the common decency to say that they're not going to get rid of their coaching staff after this year. You deserve to be a shitty team forever.
All right.
How dumb are you? Hey, not only are we not going to get rid of the worst coach in the NFL, but we're going to assure everybody, and that'll really placate our fans and make them feel good by telling them that he's going to stick around for an entire another year at least.
It's all about stability.
You guys lost to the goddamn Dolphins. You sacks of shit. Jesus.
You want to be stable as an organization. You want to be consistent.
Consistently
losing. Yeah. Brandon's got his weekly bashing of Adam Gase in, so I think we can finally wrap this episode.
I think so. It's cathartic.
Yeah, it really is. Brandon, thanks for joining me. Do you have anything you want to advertise?
Yeah, you can check me out every week. I do power rankings and a bunch more stuff over at fancyboysclub.com. And you can check me out on Twitter at the B-Man. Waleed, where can we find you?
Yeah. Also, you can check out Brandon's 30-team parlay.
Someday I'm going to remember to
on
promote
Football
that.
Absurdity. There were pros and cons to everyone on those games, is what I remember. No one.
I give you all the hot betting odds this week on that Buffalo Bills Miami Dolphins game. Everyone is chomping at the bit to see.
Oh, good Lord. Yep. And for me, you can see me on Twitter at IamTheWaleed, or you can check out the FB Football Absurdity Twitter, which is FBall Absurdity. Also. Yeah, no, that's pretty much all I got going. I'll be doing my articles. Brandon will be doing his, and we'll be doing our YouTube show every week. Thank you for joining us, and good night.